Get ready for the Squawking Eagles podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Squawking Eagles podcast. Took a couple of weeks off after the draft, but we are back. I'm joined by Miguel and Mark. How's it going, guys?
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody.
Going pretty good.
Old school. That's old school.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, that whole skit from Road Dogg. You don't really forget that.
No, that's embedded in me as the alphabet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
same. All right, we're back, boys. We took a couple weeks off, scheduling conflicts, and now we're back to kind of do our draft grades. And we're going to talk about Eagles draft. And in 6 days from this recording, the Eagles are going to know who they're going to be playing week 1 because they're going to do the schedule release. So we'll do a little bit.
What's your money on?
We'll talk about that. I'll give you the list of who the Eagles potentially can play, and then we'll just narrow it down to who we believe will play.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys. I feel like the NFL draft is a fun experience, right? I feel like they do it pretty well. It's pretty good production. They take a little time, but I think overall it's pretty decent production, right?
Yeah.
Did either one of you, and I understand if you didn't, either one of you witness or see anything about the NHL draft lottery?
No,
not the draft itself, the lottery.
I know the lottery happened.
Might have been the worst 30 minutes of sports television I've ever seen. 80s. Whoever came with the concept, they stand there with an old school lottery machine with all the balls, right?
Yeah.
Before the balls, they come out. There's nothing in there. A guy comes out with a case, opens the case. All the balls are numbered 1 to 15 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the guy picks up number 1, shows you the camera, and the commissioner Bettman goes, number 1. He puts it in. And all through all of them.
Yeah.
Then balls are going on. They're talking, and we're going to start the timer. And a timer in the background goes 30 seconds. A guy not watching the balls watches the timer. And when it hits 0, points his hand, and they pull a ball up. And then they wait another 5 minutes for the next one, and it takes 4 balls to make 1 pick. I don't have words to describe how terrible it was. I think I would rather see.
Were you just mad that the Islanders got the first pick and the Flyers got the 6th?
Don't get me wrong, yes, but no, that was terrible. I would rather see Pat Mahomes, okay, at a local grocery store surrounded by fans and everyone going crazy than ever have to watch that again.
Well, the NBA lottery is on Monday, and so I'm sure that's going to be the same thing.
Are we going to have a frozen envelope like back in what draft was that? The '93 draft?
I'll take it. I'll take it. As long as I see the Flyers get a top 5 pick, because if they don't get if the Sixers don't get a top 5 pick, they don't have a first round pick.
Oh, and to clarify that for you, Miguel, I know you're not the biggest hockey fan. The Flyers went into that draft with the lottery with like a 20% chance. Well, they had the 4th pick. Yeah. They had a 20% chance to get the first, like a 70% chance to stay at 4. Like an 18 to go to 5, like a 2 to go down to 6. They went to 6. They had 3 of the 4 numbers to get 1, and they went to 6.
That's crazy.
Welcome to being
and
Philadelphia.
I think the Islanders had like the 12th. Was it 12?
They had like the lowest percent chance of getting first.
Yeah.
They had a 0.2% chance.
Yeah, they still got.
And then
first.
Utah had even less, and Utah got 4th.
Yeah. Utah Mammoths. Utah Mammoths.
Right.
But
all right, here we go. Let's talk Eagles draft. The Eagles had, I would say, Miguel jumped on and was able to join us as the podcast was live on YouTube. If you didn't watch that, go ahead and watch us on there. The Eagles walked away with quite a haul, I would say. Some would say that the Eagles stole a top 12 linebacker. If not the second best linebacker in the draft, Jahad Campbell.
Which clearly how he was trying to trade up earlier in the draft to try to get him.
Right. So if you've seen, like Miguel's talking about, you've seen the clips from the draft on Unscripted, Howie tried to jump all the way to 22 with the Chargers, and then they ended up trading with the Falcons, and the Falcons gave up a lot to move up that pick. Talked to the Commanders. Commanders wanted to trade with him, but there's an in-division tax apparently, and Howie's like, well, we're not going to deal with that. And then it turned out that he worked with the Chiefs to just kind of give him a free pick to move up one spot to take Jahad Campbell. Yeah, they all loved it. Vic Fangio, if again, all these behind the scenes things we've watched already. Vic Fangio loves the pick. He's like, this guy, Jahad Campbell, is a game changer. He's a vicious guy. I think he's going to be a really good fit. And he's young. He's still growing, this guy.
Do you know who else really loved that pick?
You?
Micah Parsons loved that pick.
Jahad Campbell loved that pick. If you go back and you watch little reels of tape, all right, every time the players in the green room got drafted, they'd stand up, they'd shake their hands, talk to their favorites up, then they walked out of a little tunnel and they grab that hat on, they walk out, they're excited. Yeah, I just got drafted. Jahad Campbell ran down that thing, beating on the Eagles symbol. He was like, yeah, I don't think I
Dude's from Philly.
He was saying, bro, he was beyond. I think he probably sat there calling all his buddies going, I don't care. I don't care if you got drafted. I went to the Eagles. I went to my favorite team. I went to the Super Bowl champions. I'm living life. I was supposed to go a top 10 team, garbage town.
Yeah.
I'm with a champion defense.
Fall for the Eagles. So Eagles draft Jahad Campbell and finish out the night with a top guy who could probably start, if anything.
Well, that's the beauty of it. Jahad Campbell doesn't have to start. He can take his time, learn the defense, get comfortable in the defense, because you got Nakobe Dean who's going to be coming back off of the injury, hopefully. You have Jeremiah Trotter there. You got Zach Bond back in the mix. And I know we picked up another linebacker off of free agency. I forget his name right now, but so I mean, there's people in front of him, so he has the opportunity to sit back, learn, and get comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The only thing that's really going to help, he's going to remind me a lot of, and I think we've seen it ourselves this year. Look at Nolan Smith. His first year, little bit of plays, we're kind of a little disappointed. Second year, okay,
improved. Yeah,
now look at him. Look at him now.
Excited to see third year.
Yeah.
Day 2, Eagles draft safety from Texas, Andrew Mukuba. He's a transfer from Clemson. Goes to Texas.
Matata. Print the shirt, Mike.
Right, print it right now. Yep. They referencing him to a kind of ball hawk, kind of like a CJ Gardner-Johnson type of guy. I don't think you can go wrong with drafting a guy who is a little bit smaller, but he does have a build like a CJ Gardner-Johnson. I like the pick, Mark.
I love the pick. I think that he's, obviously there are a few other safeties up there people wanted, but he's a phenomenal player. He's a good size. He's a little small, but he can thicken out.
Yeah.
And I think, he's got the attacking mentality. I think a lot of times we're going to have is our D line is going to keep pressuring quarterbacks. He's not going to have – there's not going to be as many opportunities for him to get exposed early and allow him to kind of grow while he's still young. So I like it.
Yeah. And then I think the Eagles ended up trading their third-round pick. And so they didn't have a third-round pick, and they ended up taking in round 4 former teammate of Cam Jurgensen, Ty Robinson, a defensive tackle from Nebraska.
Oh yeah, they used to practice with each other or something. Right?
They used to practice against each other. The guy's a huge man. This guy is going to fit right in on that defensive line. He's physical. He's quick. He's big. And then what's Howie doing? Howie's filling in the positions that he lost, right? Filled in a safety, got a defensive tackle, lost both of those in a trade and a free agency. And then right along with that, they ended up drafting in the round 5
Another corner.
145, Mac McWilliams, a corner. So again, Darius Slay leaves. They sign. They draft another corner. Again, in the 5th round, they have another pick. They end up taking another Georgia Bulldog, Samel Mondone. I think that's how you say his name. So that's number, I think, 8. I think that's 7 or 8.
Something like that.
And then they ended up taking in another round 5. They ended up taking Drew Kendall, who's a son of a former offensive lineman from Boston College. Again, go to Stoutland U. Going to build up that line like he does. He always builds in the trenches, right? Howie?
Yep. Always got to have the backups.
Followed up making Howie happy with another local boy.
And then we come to round 6. Now I know, like round 5, there was talks that Eagles were going to be moving up to draft a quarterback because the Eagles are a quarterback factory. And with a Shedeur Sanders, did you hear about these? These conversations?
I haven't stopped hearing about it. Okay.
Yeah. We heard about it. Thank God it didn't happen. Thank God how we made the trade to get out of that spot, because from what I hear, it was really, really close.
It was pretty close.
What kills me is that all week I was on a construction site. All I kept hearing, well, you could probably people had the radio on. They had all the local Fanatic, all that listen on it, and people were like, "Oh, call in how you feel." And everyone's calling in saying he'd be a great talent. He did this, he did. I had one person I listened to called in and was like, he hasn't faced anybody. Mm-hmm. Like, to bring him in like this when we have Hurts, like, yeah, there's an opportunity he could learn from Hurts. Do you think he's gonna want to take that?
Nope.
No, he wants starting. He wants drama. We don't need that. Mm-hmm. He didn't do as well as everyone thinks he did in college. He played against mediocre talent, and it looked okay. I mean, his first few years looked great because he played against really low. Once he came up to higher level talent, he didn't play well.
Kind of evened out a little bit.
Barely evened out. That was rough. 1 for 7 against top 25 teams.
I just don't know what the Browns are doing. They traded for Kenny Pickett. They signed Joe Falco. They have Deshaun Watson. They drafted Dylan Gabriel, and they drafted Shedeur Sanders. They have 5 quarterbacks in their team. What the hell are they doing?
They're loading their gun, and whatever shot works that's what they're going to go with. I mean,
playing Russian roulette.
Yeah,
Cleveland roulette.
I mean, Mike, a franchise that has zero luck with any type of quarterback talent, they have to do something different. You know what I mean? They got to let these guys compete and
I want to see them all on the field at once.
Yeah, let them all play at the same time.
Yeah. No Flacco can play tight end.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, Flacco's tight end, Watson's receiver. You hang him out to dry to the first play. Yeah. Purposely cross the middle, throw it over his fingertips, let him take the blow. And then line everyone else up.
Zing.
Yeah.
So then Eagles do end up drafting a quarterback. I guess a Philadelphia native. I think he went to St. Joe's,
Syracuse.
He's from Syracuse. Kyle McCord.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He's from Philadelphia. He was a Philadelphia Eagles fan growing up. Another good story. Led the college football in passing yards, I believe.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm. So definitely a really good pick there.
Yeah, definitely. We need a backup, right? So
by the way, he was Ohio State and then Syracuse, not St. Joe's.
No,
he was St. Joe's High School.
St. Joe's High School. St. Joe's prep. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that I have a lot of.
Well, being from the Philadelphia area, we got to clarify.
Yeah.
Prep,
exactly.
College.
Thank you. For anyone else who doesn't know, yeah, we got to say we got the two. One's a little more argumentative than the other, and for some reason we still need more quarterbacks.
It's a factory of quarterbacks.
Nothing against Kyle McCord. I'm excited to see him join the team. Honestly, I am. But I hate hearing that phrase.
I know you do. That's why I want to hear that a lot
of times. I know.
Look, Eagles. I guess we have to have an episode of quarterback factories to just stop using that word. I understand that. Round 6, Eagles draft another tackle from Michigan. huge. Miles Hinton, again, another son of a NFL lineman.
He's a small guy, only 6'7".
Yeah, guy's a massive man. Like the pictures I found online for this guy is like he takes up the whole lens. Like you can't even get a long shot of this guy.
Wow.
Massive man. And then with another 6th-round pick, he takes another offensive tackle from Texas, Cameron Williams, another huge dude. Like
another 6th-round pick.
Another 6th-round pick. And then the last pick in the draft, they pick a edge rusher, Antoine Powell-Ryland. I think Powell-Ryland, yeah. I think a lot of people said that was a steal of the draft. Kind of like the Jalex Hunt steal of the draft with this guy. I don't know that too much I've heard about that, but supposed to be really
he had what, like 16 sacks last year?
Yeah. So
not bad. Granted,
he dropped to the 6th round too.
So. Yeah. There's a lot of edge rushers. I mean, they weren't great talent, but they were good talent. I saw a lot of people like you had 1 or 2 players this whole draft that were up here, and you had a fat stack of them that were here, and that's why this draft was kind of meh. And then it just kind of faded out, but just how it went.
Yeah, I want to go with overall grades. Miguel, I'll let you lead on that first, and how you think the Eagles did.
I mean, to be honest with you, I was kind of in and out on the draft. I was barely there for the first pick of the draft.
Right.
Didn't follow too much over the weekend, but I feel like how we filled in what I felt was going to be a mostly defensive draft, and it basically was, except for the last couple picks, which were backups for the linemen up there. So I got to give Howie an A- for what he did. He filled in the spots that we needed, and he reinforced our offensive line. So
I agree. What about you, Mark? What's your? I know like these grades are like who knows? We'll only know the grades within a couple of years from now. But
right,
what's your?
What I can tell you is that Miguel right here is a genius. I took the words out of my mouth. I was playing A- all week. I felt that we drafted the right player or like a good collection of right players for the right spots. There was no, standout star. I mean, no wrong. I'm very happy with Campbell. He's up there. But there was no like splash. Like people were like, "Oh, we're gonna trade up for this." Which I'm actually kind of glad. I think we pulled in a lot of guys. I didn't think we were gonna use as many picks. I really thought we were gonna spread those picks out for trades, maybe move up next year a little bit. Package a couple 6s and a 5 or a 4 next year. Doesn't sound great, but you never know. Add a 4 and a 3 from next year because we're gonna get more for the compensatory. And suddenly you got a 2nd-round pick next year. I really thought that was kind of the path we were gonna go. Ended up drafting a slew of players. I think most of them are going to make the team. I think a lot of it is very accurate to what you said there, Mike, where it was a lot of guys going to be in the trenches, learning, studying, seeing how they can get better. And a lot of these guys are reserve guys. I think Makuba and Campbell will probably get the most reps. Obviously, they're the higher round picks. I think Makuba might probably get more reps than Campbell, though. I think that safety position's a little thin. And so I think we're going to see a lot more Makuba, and we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, well,
go ahead, Miguel. Sorry.
I was going to say Sidney Jones is going to be, very much tested during this offseason for that starting spot. But I agree with Mark. He filled in all the spots that we needed. Howie didn't trade up for the lack of people willing to trade up or trade back. Because as we saw on the Eagles diary or whatever that thing is called.
The unscripted.
He made a bunch of phone calls to move up in the first round. So who knows what was offered. But he stuck in the spot and was able to get the player that they were targeting, supposedly.
Yeah, I thought they were going to. We talked pretty much all season how Dallas Goedert wasn't going to be on this team, and we talked about he was going to either get traded during draft day. They were going to draft his replacement. None of that actually panned out, and then we just hear that they are going to restructure his deal, and he's going to be an Eagle for at least another year or two.
Yeah, he's making $4 million less, but yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to, it's a gamble on him, right? He's got to stay healthy, see what he can do. There's been a lot of talks about Justin Simmons wanting to come to Philadelphia. we're going to hear a lot of those now. Like, I want to come to Philadelphia. I want to come. A lot of players are going to want to come here now.
Well, I think I saw some pundits say the other day. It's like, if you're a free agent right now, what team do you want to play for? It's got to be the Eagles. Every player that goes there loves the area. You got a winning team. You got a young team. I mean, we're set to see continued success. Maybe we don't do back-to-back Super Bowls. Fine, whatever. Argue that if you want. You must be a Cowboys fan. But we're not going to go. We're not imploding. We're not the Tampa team. I remember when I was a kid, I feel like Tampa won a Super Bowl. I have to double check, but like way back with like Warren Sapp and all them. And the very next year, they imploded. They were like the worst team in the league the next year. Yeah. We're not doing that, man. We're hitting 12 wins again, minimum. We're putting out the numbers because we're going to come through. We're going to hit hard. We're going to play games. We're here as a young core that's only getting better. Everyone wants to come play here. Why wouldn't you?
And on that note, we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsor. And we're back. Thank you, Mark. You ended on our last segment about Eagles having 12 wins, right?
All right.
Okay, we're not predicting how many yet, because we have a whole other schedule, other episodes. That's another episode down the road.
Let's how camps go.
Yeah, the NFL has like turned the offseason into these moments. Like the NFL draft is this 3-day fiasco, right? Pretty much. Yep. Now they were promoting the NFL schedule release, like this huge thing that everyone needs to be paying attention to, and who's going to be on the first game of the season on a Thursday night. Well, we all know now the Eagles are going to be playing game 1. We don't know who's going to be, but we're going to know from 6 days from now. And I like to talk to you guys, feel out what you think. Who would you like the Eagles to play? Obviously, going to be a home game. We're going to see the banner unveiled. I'll give you a list of teams who the Eagles can play. I'm just going to go backwards from teams that will probably not be playing. Not going to be playing the Bears on opening day. Would you say Eagles Bears opening day? Probably not a good fit. Eagles Raiders. Eagles Raiders a good fit?
No.
Eagles Broncos.
No.
That actually wouldn't be as bad as you might think it was, though, because they ended up being a pretty good team at the end of the year. I don't think it would be the starting game. That's they normally want that mid-season, but it wouldn't be a bad game.
Right.
Eagles Giants.
No.
Blowout to start. People don't want to see that. They said the Super Bowl was boring. Come on.
Don't forget, Mike. Also, the Eagles have the 4th hardest schedule this year.
Correct, and the Giants have, what did we say, Miguel? The first hardest. Like they have the hardest schedule. The Giants. They're in a tough spot.
I'm gonna love to see that fall apart.
I almost I want to see them do like one game better than the Cowboys, though. I'm evil and I think it's funny.
Well, the Cowboys.
I want to see
Cowboys
Jackson
fans are going nuts now.
Back.
They're going nuts now that they have the best receiving duo in football.
Antonio Brown 3.0.
Yeah, they got a wide receiver that's ready to crash out because Pittsburgh is known to get rid of receivers before they crash out. Before
you saw that bench warmer Brian,
I love him, bro. He's so funny.
It's hilarious.
Okay, so
there's only one, bro. There's only one person we can really face to start the season.
I know.
No, there's two.
I would like. Okay, so Cowboys. Do we open the season against the Cowboys?
I mean,
Cowboys Eagles always must watch TV, right?
Must watch game. Yeah,
I can tell you where that game's happening. It's not the first game.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas Day game.
We'll predict that later.
Are they doing the city uniforms this year or next year?
Next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we do get 4 Kelly Green games, though.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. That'd be fun. LA Rams.
No.
A repeat of the conference. No. Okay. All right. That was a quick no.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Washington Commanders. Replay of.
That could be one.
I like it, but I feel like the NFL is on this weird kick where they're like, we're going to purposely make all the end of the season be division games because then it's must watch. It's important. Like, even if your team is doing well, suddenly you have hiccups in the division and you're out, or, you drop. So There's gonna be 1 or 2 division games early, and all the rest will be at the back. It would be a great game to open up against Jalen and Daniels and all that. It would be a great game. But I just don't think they're gonna put a division game on ceremony night. I just don't see it.
I don't know. It would make that field and that stadium electric if it's against the Commanders.
True,
exactly.
But I know one team that really wants us, and I know one team I really want.
So the final team that the Eagles could possibly play on opening day,
Detroit,
which would be the second time in a row because they did this against the Chiefs last year, would be the Detroit Lions.
Detroit.
Remember, they were supposed to win the whole thing,
right? Until they.
So I think it's about time.
Sent the whole team to the hospital.
The whole
start of the season. Put up a shut up, boys.
Yeah.
You're top dogs, right? You were top dog, and I gave you the benefit of a doubt all season. When they started going down, I said, guys, I got 24 guys on IR. You can't hold that against them. That's just bad luck. We had that happen ourselves.
Yeah.
But beginning of the season, look, we won it. You argued you were the best. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. So come here and prove it, or go home with your tail between your legs, knowing we're the kings of the NFC. And at the moment, kings of the NFL.
I don't disagree with you. I just think the Washington game is a juicier beginning because then we're going to see them again later in the season. Whereas, as you said, the Cowboys game will be Christmas Day, but they have to have a Thanksgiving game. And Detroit always plays on Thanksgiving.
Oh.
So,
yeah, but doesn't Detroit always play at home on Thanksgiving?
True.
Yes.
So that's not going to be.
So Miguel, are you predicting a Eagles-Lions Thanksgiving Day game? Because that would be
if they open up with Washington, then yes, I see a Detroit Eagles.
Oh man, I would love
on
that.
Thanksgiving Day.
That would make my Thanksgiving so much better.
Oh yeah, because Thanksgiving, honestly, the football normally sucks. Like they always have bad teams playing.
Yeah. Well, it's always Detroit and Dallas, so
that's always Detroit and Dallas, and then some 2 random teams.
Yeah, and it's usually always a cupcake game for those 2 teams just to make it,
right.
Look at the Cowboys. They win every year on Thanksgiving. All right, Alabama and your preseason teams. Okay. Oh, look at Alabama. They start every season for the past 30 years, 2-0. Yeah, they started every year for the past 30 years playing teams that are high schools. Get out of here.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, before Miguel said the whole Thanksgiving thing, I was kind of leaning towards what you were saying, Mark. But then Miguel says the Thanksgiving matchup. I'm like, I kind of like that better.
I don't argue that at all.
I would love to see Eagles Commanders week 1.
I say I'm agreeing with both of you. I think that is the better option. However, I'm just saying I don't think the NFL is going to do that. I think the NFL.
They don't want to do that.
Yeah, well, that is it. You think every year the opening game doesn't always get the viewership they want it to, because isn't it typically on a Thursday night anyway?
It will be Thursday night, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not getting the viewership they want. They're not going to want to put on this big, awesome, great game between 2 division rivals. They're going to say, let's do the 2 tops of the NFC, because look, I'm sorry, Jalen, we're better than you. Okay, I've seen a lot of people put their names as the commies, which I think is hilarious. You guys just don't got it. Okay, we're the Eagles. We're the true America's team. We're the champions right now. Detroit's the only one we didn't get to fight for that. So
yeah, I mean, granted, it's still going to be a good game either way, Lions or Commanders. But out of all those selections, I think those are the only 2 teams that would.
What the funny part is, though?
Make it smart enough. What?
It's going to end up being like the Bears. That's like I'm being dead serious, because they tend to just throw those kind of games there, like, oh, big ceremony. Well, we don't want 2 important, fun to watch teams to worry about this. We want one team to celebrate, have a great night, and the other team to just be there to get the shit.
Actually, that's actually not that's not a terrible idea either, because they kind of want, who's that quarterback of the Bears?
Oh yeah,
what's his name?
Nail polish guy. I know you're talking about.
What the heck is his name?
I don't know something anymore.
Yeah,
now, like,
don't work.
Not me remember his name kind of messes up what I wanted to say. Because they kind of want him to be the face of the of NFL, right?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, thank you. they want him to be they want Jalen Hurts is the face of the NFL. They probably want Caleb Williams to be the face of the NFL.
They do be the next Pat Mahomes, right?
Right. They want Jalen Daniels to be the face of the NFL. I don't think they want Jared Goff to be the face of the NFL.
I don't think they want Jalen Hurts to be the face of the NFL. I think they're pissed that he's the best.
Yeah, I know. And guess what? I like it. I like it that way. I'll take it.
And look, I'll say this. I think we touched on it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Every time we do stuff like this, people say Jalen's getting carried because he's just not doing it. I harped on him all the time. But then in 2 Super Bowl games, he's outperformed Pat Mahomes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got cheated in 1, banged him in the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Took him behind the woodshed, beat him, kicked him down the road, drove away. That was,
it's
wanted to be the face, but
he's going to be the face. He was at the Met Gala a couple weeks ago or last weekend.
Waste time. I'm sorry about
that. To speak of how the Eagles fans don't care about what other, I guess, pundits say, Philadelphia fans love their birds.
Always.
The truest golf tournament is happening this weekend.
I love it.
And as there's 2 things that happened during the game, during the tournament. Jordan Spieth is from Dallas, Texas.
Spieth.
There's no L.
He's from Dallas, Texas. And what happens when he gets introduced from Dallas, Texas?
Boo.
What do you think Philadelphia fans yell?
Dallas sucks.
Dallas sucks, and an Eagles chant goes off.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Roy McIlroy is on hole...
Roy McIlroy.
He's on hole 4 or 5, I think it was.
Bobby will be so disappointed in you for mispronouncing that name.
Yeah, well, it's also 12:18 at a.m. He tees off, and what do you hear in the background as soon as he hits it? Go Birds!
Go Birds!
Go Birds!
Okay,
nice.
I'm watching. I watched this YouTuber called he's named Adam the Woo. He's just a daily vlogger. He lives in Florida. He goes to Tampa Bay Ray games. Who are the Rays playing this week? And the way he's going, playing the Phillies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's recording. And what do you hear at a Devil Rays game in the middle of May?
EAGLES Eagles.
Exactly. We don't care about what anybody says about Jalen Hurts and how he's not the face of the NFL. No, we don't care. And people can't stand that stuff.
You know what's funny about that, Mike? You know what I really love? You watch any sport, right? Any sport, and you see people at their games. Typically, if you watch basketball, people are in the stands wearing basketball jerseys. You watch baseball, people wearing baseball jerseys, right? But if it's a Philly sport, you're going to see the mix. You're going to see Eagles fans at Flyers games. You're going to see Phillies fans at Sixers games and all around. I went to a Phillies game last week, and I wore my Stoutland University shirt, right?
Yeah.
So green stands out in the crowd of blues and reds. Decent amount of Eagles jerseys there, though. Let's not lie to that. I got like 17 different people to point out my shirt, like, bro, I love that shirt. And we had more chants for the Eagles. And we ended up, the Phillies lost the game. And when they lost, we all walked out chanting EAGLES Eagles.
Yeah.
And it just kept starting up every couple of seconds. Someone would go like, Eee! And like everyone would just go off again. It was like, the Phillies lost, but the Eagles are still champions.
I was in Princeton today. My wife and I went out to lunch at it's called it's called Chopped. It's like a salad place. And she's ordering, and I'm wearing a cut off sweatshirt, Eagles Kelly Green sweatshirt.
I like it.
Guy comes out of the kitchen, looks at me, he goes, "Go Birds!" And I go, "Go Birds!" My wife looks at me, is like, "What is that? What is like?" That's like the most random thing in the middle of a salad shop in Princeton on a Thursday. Goes, "Go Birds! Go Birds!"
Yeah.
And she just looks at me, just shakes her head.
I do it at the gym. I see somebody wearing an Eagles gear, or if I'm wearing an Eagles gear, somebody will say it to me. It's just, it's the Philadelphia way, man.
It is. I don't think there's a fan base out there that is the same at all.
In March, when I flew to Colorado, when I fly with my daughter, I usually have me and her wear something similar. So we kind of look like a match because, it's airport busy people. Of course, one time out, I was like, hey, what do you want to wear? We wore our Eagles stuff. That's what she wanted to wear out.
Yeah.
I'm in Denver, Colorado in March, right? Getting my bag and stuff. I think we were like a red-eye flight out. I had people, go Birds! All the way down the other side, just someone yelled out. They saw the jersey. Go Birds! Go Birds! Like, doesn't matter where you're at.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a great community. I really enjoy it.
Yes, it is.
This community has brought you guys to this platform that we're building here.
Look at you two. You were both born in a state with 2 NFL teams. You said, nah, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Came out the womb. You looked at him. Went,
that's true. Yeah.
Go Birds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very much.
Look at Miguel's room.
Yeah.
Look right behind me. That's just, it tells you all about it. That's life.
Yeah.
Rams Eagles.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Definitely. So happy to be here with you guys too.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, thanks again. It was a quick little podcast. We wanted to get our grades out for the draft. We wanted to talk about a little off season with Dallas Goedert and the rumors of things happening with him and Justin Simmons. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye on Instagram. We'll be posting it as soon as something happens.
Let's give a special congratulations to AJ Brown, who just got engaged this past weekend. Congratulations.
Yeah. In Philly sports, please don't make it a drama that Jalen Hurts wasn't there. He was on his honeymoon, I believe.
I think he had just gotten married. And he also round of applause to Jalen. Round of applause to the team, man. They're all doing great things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to say, Jalen Hurts, congratulations on your marriage. AJ Brown, congratulations on your engagement. And you know what? I want to do congratulations to Saquon for telling the whole world to shut up stop putting politics and everything. Just enjoy life, man. Let's go. We're Birds fans. We don't need all the rest. All we need is us.
Yep.
We're all we got.
We're all we need.
EAGLES.
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 Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Hey, Mike, hit some type of summary music.
Copyright free music is going to start right now.